Hey everybody, welcome to the GarthCast for today, May 20th, 2008. Before we begin, I'd like to take a real quick moment and wish my best to the family of Senator Ted Kennedy, who was diagnosed recently with a malignant brain tumor. Hopefully he can come back from this and make a full recovery. On today's GarthCast, Garth's appearance at the ACMs. Brilliant performance, and nice appearance. I would sum it up basically with 3 M's. The medley, the mistakes, and the magic. As well, a brief little article found via planetgarth.com. Is Trisha preggers? Expecting her first child? Another article from GAC TV, Garth's touring comeback inevitable. And finally, just a real quick brief mention on the National Examiner. With the ACM Awards being held recently, this past Sunday night, May 18th, Garth Brooks was awarded the Crystal Milestone Award. Very cool performance and very cool appearance by Garth. First thing I'd like to mention was the medley. He played a medley of some of his biggest hits. And it was really nice to see, Garth up on stage again performing where he really, in my opinion, should be, out in a touring kind of performing mode. Most of his biggest hits were represented, starting and finishing with classic songs, finishing with Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up. In there he had More Than a Memory, Good Ride Cowboy, Rodeo, as well as many of his other biggest hits. And the only surprising thing in the medley to me was that he did not end with the dance. In one sense he did, because you could say the dance is where the classic songs sort of ended and the newer songs began, but then he went back to some of his older music as well. It was overall a very well done medley. And there were also a few mistakes. Garth started with the Thunder Rolls, and I know there was the medley kind of aspect to things, and you have the different keys and different entrances to the songs where you're cutting out, where you're not. But Garth kind of flubbed, you could call it, the start to the first chorus of the Thunder Rolls. It was kind of interesting. But, got to give Garth a pass on that. It is live TV. The other flub, which was kind of funny and rather interesting, was the mistakenly calling Reba McEntire Miss Yearwood at first. He was talking about how, I think he said the coolest thing about this award was the person who was awarding it to him, and then he said Miss Yearwood, realized he said Miss Yearwood when he meant Reba, and had a nice laugh. It was kind of funny. So that would be the second M, the mistakes, during the medley, and it was kind of fun. The third thing concerning the medley would have been the magic. And what I mean by the magic is simply it was really cool, really neat to see Garth back on stage, back performing, and back in, I would think, a really comfortable mode. He was, of course, recently, not too long ago, last fall, on the concert stage in Kansas City for the sold-out shows, and he did the benefits in January for fire relief. But this was just something a little bit different. It was just kind of neat to see Garth performing in an awards show. Would almost make you wish he would then be either presenting an award or receiving another one other than the Milestone Award, which he did receive, which was, again, a very cool award. Next up on the GarthCast, from an article found by someone on planetgarth.com, music.moldova.org / bunch of other stuff, had a little blurb on their website saying, local Texas radio station 96.7, The Twister. It was reported Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood are expecting their first child together. The couple was married in December 2005. The couple was married in December 2005. The couple were indeed married today in a small ceremony at their Oklahoma home surrounded by family. There was even an application for a marriage license for country singers Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. We will update when we learn more about expecting child. Now, is that an actual thing? Honestly, I really doubt it. When you look at, number one, Trisha's comments about being comfortable, with who they have, not having kids already, and when you double that up with the fact that, they're over 40 years old, almost 50, and then you add up the couple was married in December 2005, the couple were indeed married today, it's just, there's just something that doesn't seem quite right. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that. But based on the dress that she wore, the blue dress, nice low-cut thing, guys, it was interesting. Girls, it was interesting. It would leave, some people speculating. Who knows? You start mentioning Trisha's weight or Garth's weight, and some of the more rabid Garth fans get a little bit cranky in the pants about it. So we won't do that. Next up on the GarthCast, Garth Brooks looks forward to return. From Great American Country, GACTV.com, Garth Brooks delivered a medley of his hits on Sunday's 43rd Annual Academy of Country Music Awards, which might be the last time we see him perform in some time. But in all likelihood, he will be back on tour at some point in the future. Garth retired from the road in 2000 to devote himself to parenting his 3 daughters in Oklahoma, and he said repeatedly he would not tour again until they were all raised. He did do a few shows in Kansas City, including the period in Los Angeles during January as well. Garth concluded his last full-fledged tour in 1998, and when he first retired, he had fears he might not take the stage with his band again. After the recent shows, he had a sense that his return is inevitable. Back then you wondered, he said, will I see the guys again? All this stuff. So it was a lot more dramatic. This one, we saw the guys, and it was like we'd never taken the 10 years off. That was good for me, and that was the way it was with the crowd, too. So this time, when I walked away, I felt, you know what? We'll be back. And good Lord willing, we will. It will be fun. In the meantime, Garth has no regrets about the decision he made to back away from touring. The most surprising thing is, it's 10 times cooler than what you walked away from, he said. I really thought it was going to be the other way around. I really thought, what the hell am I going to do, and what's going to feed me? And I got to tell you, watching those kids, watching the tumblers click, watching them grow up, not in years, but inside, nothing's better than that. And finally, on the GarthCast, just a really quick brief mention. Garth recently made the National Examiner again for an article entitled Garth Divorce Drama. I would go into depth and read the article, however, there really was nothing in it of importance. Garth's really basically mentioned in connection to an article that tries to, drop Sandy's old stuff with the boyfriends again, with Quintine Harper and with her other ex-boyfriend being deceased, and it's just, an attempt to discredit her, and it's really kind of a non-issue, a non-story, so I'm not going to say much more about it. That's about it for the GarthCast, though. Hope you enjoyed it. You can always find us on the GarthCast YouTube channel. We are also available, the audio GarthCast, podcastalley.com. Vote for us there. Find us on iTunes. And garthcast@mac.com for any feedback. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time for the GarthCast, this is Scott. Keep believing.